Hey everyone, welcome to the Bridge the Gap YouTube channel. Wanted to get you guys going on some resources and walk you through how I got started. So when I first got started, I didn't know too much about what I was doing. I would build some lineups by hand, and I just got to thinking that there was a better way. So one of the first resources, websites that I ever signed up for was FantasyLabs. It's a phenomenal resource. I still use it to this day. They've got a ton of great content, way more than you could actually use. Really good articles. There's a ton to see and do on here that will make you a better player overnight. I guarantee it. It's $60 a month. It's absolutely worth your investment, and you have to look at DFS as just that, an investment, like a business. If you treat it like a business, you're going to do a lot better, and you'll catapult all of the casual players that just want to put 20 bucks in every weekend and throw one lineup into the Millionaire Maker. That is not how you make money at DFS. So when I first started, I just thought that there was a better way, and through some Google searches, I really liked that this website was started by two pros, Jonathan Bales and Peter Jennings. Really look up to Bales, and Jennings is an awesome player. So I figured, hey, if this is what they're building, it's probably good, and it's great. I use it for just about every single sport, and without really knowing what you're doing, you can do a ton and get really good at it. So I'll just walk you through some of the features that they have, and then we'll do a lineup build together so you can get the hang of it. So this is their homepage. Again, a lot of good articles. Every single one of the sports that they cover is here, and if you just hover over it, it will show you everything that you can do within each sports column. Learning has some great articles on just some of the overall aspects about DFS. Their support, if you need to email them, is phenomenal. So since we're in football season, we'll just go into their models. And this is where you can start to build models. Here is where you can click various models that are available. I like the Sean Kerner model, but you also have a Levitan, a Bales, a Jennings, a Cash model, a Friedman, a Raybon, and a Sports Geek, and a tournament model. So you just click your preference. This shows you the plus minus of how the various positions perform based off of what you program the model to do. FantasyLabs does all of the programming for you, and when I say programming, it's based off of this piece over here. You have 100 points to use. The Sean Kerner model, also known as the odds maker, is built with these tabs on what he thinks is important. So if you're like, hey, floor is not important, you can move that one down. I want that to go to ceiling. So that's how you would toggle with it. So if you really want to get deep into the weeds, that's what you can do. I leave everything as it is. Within the model, the rating that you see here is going to be based off of all of these toggles: projection, ceiling, floor. The big piece here is the points per salary. So let's go to a regular NFL outlook so you guys can see what you'd be looking at. So the rating, projection, ceiling, floor, points per salary. This is huge. This is what DFS is all about. It's not how many points your team's going to score. It's how many multipliers times a salary is your team going to score. So in football, we're seeing a lot of higher scores. In the past, a 4 times your salary, so 200 points, $50,000 salary times 4x is 200, would win you a football tournament. This year, we're seeing it at 5x. So we want guys that are going to get 5 times their salary. So obviously, the projection is what would factor into that. And then who has the upside, that's where you would check the ceiling. If you're looking at cash games, the floor would be more important. Who's not going to bust? So with that in mind, we'll go ahead and take a look at how I got started. When I first got started, what I would do is I would just click this optimize button, and it would spit out a lineup, and I would put that one lineup into all 50 of my entries. When I first started, the max entry at the lower stakes was 50, not 20. So to click this button, it says you got to lock in 2 players. So we'll just lock in 2 players, optimize, So that would be my cash lineup. So Cam, Drake, Hunt, AJ Green, Marvin Jones. So this team actually did pretty well yesterday outside of Baldwin. And then I would just enter that in and click the enter contest button 50 times. So that's how you would build one lineup. If you're like, dude, I'm just getting smoked in DFS. I don't know my ear from my elbow. And my hometown team, I never win by just playing with those guys. So that's how you would build a lineup based off of the computer and its ratings. And you can set that to rating, projected points. If you want a lineup with upside, it'll build off that as well. So a little bit different than the lineup that we had. If you want to build multi lineups, we'll do that. So we'll go to the showdown slate that's taking place tonight, and we'll go to our multi lineup tool. And so we'll just go through each category here, and I'll show you guys how to program this. So let's say we want 150 lineups. We want that to generate off of projected points. Unique players, we want 3 unique players per lineup. Diversification, also known as randomness. This can get you less used lineups, which you do want, but I don't really like having randomness because it makes it harder to back test. A minimum salary, we want to use 99% of the salary, so at least 49,000 of the 50,000 allocated salary. Max salary, it's okay to go all the way to 50K. Max exposure, we'll set this to, let's just say we don't want more than 25% of any one player. We'll put that there. Players on the same team, because this is a showdown slate, we'll just increase this to 4, giving the computer program more options to use. Force, quarterback, pass catching stack, yeah, that's fine. It's a 1-game slate, so we'll just do the game stacking option as well, since it doesn't really matter, as there's likely to be, you have to have at least 1 player from each team in the showdown lineup. So we'll click generate lineups. And we might have set our parameters to strictly, so let's drop this down to 1. And let's just do away with all the game stacking, since there's going to be stacking anyway. We're still only getting 3 lineups, so we'll go back to our player pool. What are we doing incorrectly? That's bizarre. So go back here. Let's see. You know what? The max exposure might be throwing it off. So let's just leave that at 100. There we go. So we'll let it build its 150. And what you'll want to do is, if you're like, all right, well, how do I go from here? So while this builds, I'll walk you through where to load these up at DraftKings. Now, I have it bookmarked, and I highly encourage you guys to bookmark it. It just makes navigating and getting lineups in so much easier, especially if you're in a pinch to get lineups in before everything locks. You'll go to your lineups tab, and then you'll want to click upload lineups. So what I'm going to show you is what the quote-unquote pros do. I'm not a pro, but I do this. But when I first found this out, I was like, well, no wonder I can't win, because I'm making all these lineups by hand, and it was a total nightmare. So now that our lineups, so it's still going. So I'll just go ahead and show you guys to save some time. So we'll just save our lineups. We'll save the ones it has done so far. And it takes us from this multi-lineups tab to our My Lineups page. And we'll go ahead and we want to download the file. So you click download the file, and then you click download lineups, and it's going to populate all of your lineups right here. So we'll close this. You want to open up the spreadsheet from FantasyLabs. So these are all of your lineups here. So these numbers are actually a correlation to a player. It won't make sense to us, but the DraftKings computer knows what it is. Basically, this lineup that we're entering is one of the ones that we just produced. So DraftKings is going a little slow, so let's restart it on another tab. There we go. So we are going to NFL. We're going to go to Showdown. Going to download. You click download. And so here's all of your DraftKings entries. and we'll just scrub our file. And you want to copy and paste the numbers, put them on the spreadsheet. Got a couple extra here, and you want to save it. And then you go right here, upload entries, click upload, click your file. Successfully loaded, that's what you want to see, 217, so we have 217 entries, all 217 were successfully loaded. And if you want to see how the numbers became players, you can just download your file again from DraftKings, and this will have all of the lineups that you just loaded up. But on DraftKings end, it shows you the player and the number. So close this. Actually, no. Let's go up. So 114, 14937. We can see that's Kamara. The next one, we can see that's Davis, Lutz, Richardson. I bet this has the same number. Yep. Lutz, Richardson. So that's how you load lineups. I highly recommend FantasyLabs. I use it every single day. Get in there, play around with it, learn as much as you can, and I guarantee it will make you a better player. It's the number one thing I can recommend to fast forwarding your DFS career as fastly as possible. Because all we're doing right now is we're building a strong foundation, and as you get going and you learn some of the tools that are out there, you can take what I do, make it your own, and go out there and dominate. Appreciate you guys for checking out the video. If you have any questions, send me an email. If you want to hit me up on Twitter, you know how to find me, @SwimJG. Take care, guys.